this going? And when this happened, I thought maybe you could help. So I called Chris, and here we are. Questions and more questions. What was stolen? I expected an answer like cash, credit cards, phone. 2 buckets of oyster spat. What the what? Spat? Andie smiled, and her shoulders dropped into a more relaxed position. 2 big white pails of oyster seed, teeny tiny baby oysters. I run the Great River Oyster Farm on the Damariscotta River. I bought the seed from the hatchery and was carrying the buckets from my truck to my dock when it happened. Oyster seed. That was a new one. Did you report it to the police? In Damariscotta right away. Damariscotta was the largest town on the next peninsula north of ours, or east of ours, as Mainers would have it. The town was about 40 minutes from Busman's Harbor at times of the year when there weren't any tourist-related traffic. I shifted in my chair, preparing to deliver a difficult message. I know it seems like 24 hours is a long time when you've been assaulted and robbed. I can't imagine how you must be feeling. But you need to give the police more time. She waved a hand. I'm not concerned about the time. The oysters are dead unless the person who robbed me has the equipment and know how to care for them. I'm concerned the police don't understand the motive. Don't understand it how? The motive for most robberies seemed pretty straightforward. You have something the other person wants. End of story. Andie took a deep breath. The police think it was a simple robbery. She paused. I think it was an act designed to cripple my business. Sabotage. A loaded word. My eyebrows jumped involuntarily. Sabotage. How? Who? And why? That's what I'd like you to help me figure out. You think someone is out to get you, but you don't know who or why. Andie nodded. Right. The method was stealing the seed. It doesn't make sense that someone would do it for the money. This was done specifically to hurt me. There's no other explanation for it. I doodled on the leather-framed paper calendar that functioned as a blotter on my desk, buying time. It was flattering that Chris bragged about my detective skills at his weekly off-season poker game. I had aided the police with their inquiries before, but I still didn't get what exactly Andie's problem had to do with me, or why she had lost faith in her local police so quickly. If there's no explanation aside from sabotage, why do you think the police are convinced it was a simple robbery? They're distracted by the value of the seed. It's a big number. How big? I paid $35,000 cash for those 2 buckets. Whoa! My better judgment screamed at me to shut my mouth, but my curiosity, always the devil on my shoulder, won out. How do you think I can help? You can investigate, figure out who hates me that much. Because the seed are so valuable, the police think my robbery was about financial gain for the thief. I'm convinced the motive was to ruin me. Maybe the person who did this thinks it will put me out of business because if I buy more seed, I might not have the cash I need to hire summer staff and run the business. Or maybe they hope the damage will be in the long term. That I won't replace the seed and my crop 3 years from now will be too small to sustain me. She paused. Neither is true, by the way. I have the cash to replace the seed. It's not the money I'm worried about so much as the motive. Chris spoke up for the first time since our little meeting had begun. I wasn't sure exactly what you could do, Julia, but I figured you could poke around, like you do, and help Andie figure this out. This is a different situation. I pushed back but didn't say more. You've learned from what you've done. Chris clearly was heavily invested in having me help his friend. The 3 of us looked from one to the other. I sensed there was something more, something Andie wasn't telling me. But whether her reluctance came because she didn't want to talk in front of Chris or for some other reason, I couldn't tell. Once I'd gotten over my surprise that she wasn't a man, my first impression of her was good. She seemed smart and cool, and she owned and ran a successful oyster farm. Tell you what, I said. I'll come visit you tomorrow morning and we can talk some more. No commitment. If I don't think I can help, I'll be honest. Thank you. Andie gave me an address on the river road, which I wrote on the blotter. As for the time, you name it. I'm a farmer. I get up with the sun. I'm not a farmer.